We have already seen that communication involves more than just words and is not only about information. It is more complex and involves other factors, including the tone of voice, body language, and other things which will make the difference between successful and unsuccessful communication. Our senses play an important part in the communication process. Which of the senses do you think is most important? Pause this clip for a minute, if you wish, to think about your answer before going on. Research indicates that sight is by far the most important sense, which would mean that body language is more important than words when it comes to effective verbal communication. Verbal communication is made up of words, non-verbal communication, and body language. For many, it may come as a surprise, perhaps, that the actual words we use play a considerably lesser role in ensuring effective communication than the other two components. You can see that words are attributed a mere 7% compared to a 93% for combined non-verbal communication and body language. In this context, it's not surprising then how much more difficult it is to be sure what someone means when you speak to them on the telephone or receive an email from them. Or what about communicating with someone from a different culture? Body language varies depending on cultures, and most behaviours are not universally accepted. Non-verbal communication and body language include features such as speaking style, facial expressions, gestures, postures, eye contact, and others. Even more than words alone, they can reveal much about your feelings towards others and others' feelings towards you. Furthermore, body language can be conscious or unconscious. An example of conscious body language would be to replace words with gestures. Gestures may, however, be interpreted differently in different cultures. This gesture, for example, for many people means okay, but in some South American countries it is seen as a curse, and in Japan it is praise. An example of unconscious body language could include looking distracted or disinterested. Whether the body language we use is conscious or unconscious, it is more likely to be misinterpreted than words, and more powerful. The body language we use is capable of contradicting our verbal message, so that what we say is not understood as we intended. There are a number of factors that have to exist before communication will be effective. The sender formulates the message. Encoding refers to how the sender decides to communicate the message, using words, gestures, etc. The message is the actual way in which information is communicated. Example, the letters, the words. Decoding refers to the way the receiver interprets the message. The response is the way the receiver responds. And noise refers to factors which can interfere with the communication process. For example, physical noise, distractions, language barriers, perceptions, etc. In the next section, we're going to look at this last source of noise, perceptions, which are known to be the biggest cause of breakdown in communication. I hope you now understand the communication process and feel ready to move on to the next section. Before moving on to the next section, you may listen again to this video lecture if you need to.